Hello everybody, welcome to Crafty Soup. My name is Misty. I am here with a layout process video as part of the Mixed Media Mayhem group, and once a month they open up their hop to anyone in the group, and we work from a layout inspiration, and this time around I believe that's straight from the Vicky Boutin website or maybe the American Crafts website. So that is what we are lifting today. Let's go ahead and get started. Since the last couple of mixed media layouts I've done have been pretty mild, I am going to get full-on messy today. So I have my glass mat out, and I pulled out these pictures to tell a story about my cat, which is a little bit of a snarky story, as you'll see as we move through it. So I have pulled out some cat-related papers, and I'm going to mix these in with some Vicky Boutin papers and a lot of Vicky Boutin embellishments because I do have quite a stash. And I did pull out that dark sheet is from Vicky Boutin. I don't remember exactly which one it is. And I pulled out some stencils from Vicky Boutin, and we are going to make a mess. Oh, I do have a couple of non-Vicky Boutin embellishments here that are pet related, so I have got those out. And then, as you can see, that was my stash of embellishments. All right, I'm going to start off with this sheet of striped paper, and I'm going to just cut some strips of that black paper because I'm going to use that as matting pretty much for not only behind the cat paper I've got there, but behind my photos as well. So I did do that off screen, and I will do quite a few things off screen because this layout did take me a while and I was very indecisive much of the time. At any rate, I have that cat paper cut down to represent the tall vertical band that is in the inspiration photo. And then I went ahead and pulled out my mixed media with my base layout kind of ready to go. I am going to do both spraying and some stenciling on top of that. Now I pulled out this Vicky Boutin mixed media paper because I want to test out some of these sprays. A couple of them I haven't used before, and I want to make sure that I like how the colors are behaving. And I know it's not going to be quite the same on the regular pattern paper because it is much thinner than this particular cardstock, but I'm going to at least get a sense of the colors. And I'm kind of glad I got started here because that sprayer wasn't working at first. And as I was playing, I've got a distressed oxide ink in blue. I've got a Dina Wakley gloss spray, which is called Night. And I thought it would be more of a navy color, but it has a purple tone to it. So I'm actually going to eliminate that one. And I was very glad that I had tested this ahead of time. And I kind of got a sense of how far apart to spray these colors without getting too much green happening, because I want the blue and I want the yellow because this is a story about the cat peeing on my bed. So I thought the liquidy blue and the unfortunate yellow colors would be appropriate colors for this story. All right, so I did get that sprayed in, and the yellow actually has shimmer in it. It's an old Tattered Angels product, and luckily the sprayer started working as I was playing, so I was able to use that. Now it is showing up as kind of a neon-y green on my camera. It's just because my lighting has more of a blue tint to it, and while I've tried to fix it in post, the colors are much more garish than they look in person. At any rate, I have moved on to some stenciling, and I've got a couple of blue inks from Concord and Ninth, which is my favorite ink company right now. And I am doing the stenciling with this Vicky Boutin stencil, and just as she does commonly, just filling in bits and pieces of the stencil, not going totally solid with the stencil, and trying to get different areas of the paper covered over. Again, trying not to go over that yellow spray too heavily with the blue because it does turn green. And making sure I get the other edge of my paper as well because that vertical strip of pattern paper will leave the edge of the paper showing for the whole layout. All right, so I do just kind of wipe down my brush in between colors so that I have more true colors when I get to stenciling. I started this second step of stenciling, which is to add this kind of splatter idea to just some of the previous circle stencils. And I realized I needed to mask it up a little bit so that I wouldn't over stencil because I am classic at making smudges and messes. So the masking tape is definitely my friend. All right, I did bring in some elements to make sure that the stencil work that I'm doing with this step isn't going to be totally covered up so that I can see the bits and pieces flowing that I want. Don't forget that edge again. And I do try to kind of work in threes when I'm doing this part because these elements are definitely going to stand out a little bit more. I want to have that kind of visual triangle, groups of 3 design principle on there. All right, now it's time to adhere things down. And to keep things real, I usually adhere my titles and stuff down with a piece of low-tack tape. And this paper did not work well with that low-tack tape. And it basically ripped off all the letters from my subtitle there. And that's how life goes sometimes. So I just wanted to let you guys know that, you know, I make a lot of mistakes too. So I had to get more letters and cover that all up and move on. So I am moving on by making this pouch behind my upper photo to hold my journaling. If you know Vicki Boutin at all, you know that she doesn't care about journaling. She likes the visual, pretty stuff. And so her layouts often don't include journaling and don't leave room for journaling. So, and you know, my layouts have been so much fuller lately that that's been true for me too. So I've been hiding my journaling a lot in pockets. Using some foam tape behind a photo is an easy way to make a pocket. And I have moved on to putting on the finishing touches to this layout. So if you haven't seen there, my full title reads, "Tell the story, Cats Make Me Happy Until He Pees on My Bed." So that is the full title and subtitle to this layout, and the journaling behind the photo will go into the details. All right, I was super indecisive as I was finishing off the embellishing to this layout, and I love the layers and fullness that Vicki Boutin gets, but I can't seem to incorporate it. I have a hard time getting things to fit how I want them to and not cover up everything that I still want showing. So sometimes I will cut things apart like you just saw me do to get them to kind of layer and stack better. And here again, I'm cutting apart another flower, and I don't think I spread that one across the layout, but I do add 2 other pops of yellow so that I've got that visual triangle of yellow going again. So I have cut out a lot of the video and just showing you the bits and pieces of kind of things that I decided to keep because, like I said, I was super indecisive and having a hard time getting all the layers going on that I wanted. And, you know, lately I've been thinking, well, maybe I just don't have the right bits and pieces, but I pulled out everything from Vicki Boutin and I had it all sitting on my desk and I was still having a hard time layering. So I guess that's just how my brain works, because I don't want to cover up all the stuff that I worked on that's going on behind this layout. I have a hard time getting those layering clusters to be as layered and as full as I want them to be. At any rate, I did add in some of those items that I'd pulled out originally from my pet supplies, and I had almost forgotten about them. And they're a little different in style and tone than the rest of the bits on here, but I'm going to tuck them in there anyway because I like them and I've had them for a long time and I should use them. So that's that. And I finish it off with a couple of little sparkly dots from the filler pieces on the Vicki Boutin supply sheet. So as we take a look at the still photos of this layout, I will say thank you so much for watching. Do remember that this is a hop, so if you're here just from being a subscriber to my channel, please go check out the other crafters, and you can always kind of skip through the videos if you want to just see their projects in the end, and that way you won't have to spend your whole day there, but leave them some love too. And I will be back actually tomorrow with the 1st of July and my new kit build for the new month. So join me then. And until then, have an artful day.